Hi Cancers, this is your reading for this week of November 24th, or when you hear it and it resonates. Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, or a lot of Cancer in your chart. And of course, it won't be for everybody. Cancers, as I see you walking in your kitchen, and I see you walking by the food, and I see you exiting the kitchen, and then you come back, and you leave. But it's not like you're going anywhere specific. So I'm asking the guides, what's this about? What this is about is, even though you're walking in your kitchen, you aren't really fully present with being in the kitchen. And what this is about is that you can sometimes be off in your head in a way where you forget to stay in touch with your body, when you forget to stay in touch with what's actually going on around you in the physical plane. And so sometimes what happens in the process of that is you lose track of time such that you don't always manage to do the things that are good for you at the time that it would be good for you. So in other words, you don't want to eat at 9 o'clock at night, right? It's hard on the digestion if you want to go to bed on time. But if you lose track of time and then it's 9 o'clock at night and you need to eat something, what are you going to eat? Well, maybe you'll just won't bother at that point. And maybe instead what you'll do is you'll eat junk food or something like that. But that's just an example. What this is really talking about to me is that this is really the time now where you are applying what self-love looks like in terms of what you wish your new story to be. Ooh, this is important. What you wish your new story to be. So, self-love is very often a reflection of, or our ability to love ourselves is very often a reflection of how we have experienced love in our life, right? So if, for example, we had a mother who showed her love by giving you sugar, that's going to be a place you're going to go in your head when you want to take care of yourself. It's not what your body really needs, but it's what that child part of you has been programmed to perceive as loving. So whether or not it's that, whether or not it's over exercising because that's what your mother did to feel good about herself and that's what she taught you to feel good about you, but it's straining your body in a way that's not good for you, or it's creating a lot of anxiety, can you look at that and say, okay, is this really genuinely loving? If I check in the moment, if I take the time to breathe and really look at this, what is my body telling me is right for me? What is my mind saying? What is my body saying? Are they congruent? What you have now is this card of can't and won't. I feel like this is, again, the child. Can't is the language of a child. It suggests inability and powerlessness. Won't is a language of an adult. It suggests choice and therefore power. It's the ability to choose, which gives us the power to deliberately create our lives. So what I want you to understand, please, or what the guides want you to understand, is that whatever the story was of self-care for you growing up, whatever the story of loving you was, other people loving you was, what is it for you now? You have the ability to choose. It's about you checking in with what you're doing. There you go. You've got choice, right? Can't and won't, choice. This is you choosing to slow down long enough to breathe, stay in touch with your body, and say, where am I not grounded? Where am I going off into other fantasies? Or not just fantasies. This is where I'm understanding it now too. It's not just being off in fantasies stop with fantasies. It's not just being off in other fantasies. It's that the sentimental memory that you can go into without even necessarily meaning to around issues of how are you loved and replicating it in your life now. Well, the thing is, you're different than your mother was or whoever was your model for how to be loved. You are who you are now. You are a very different person, even from who you were 6 months ago, but really, really seriously, a very different person than you were, say, 3 or 4 years ago. You have changed so much in terms of your understanding of boundaries, in terms of your understanding of your right to be loved. Now, this is where it really comes down to. This is where the integration of the old story in your daily life gets to be challenged, and you get to set the new story. I love this. This is, you're being asked to, okay, I'm laughing because, thank you. The question is how, right? How do you change the old story? Well, actually, this is really good for you, and it's not so hard, because if you look at the overall theme of self-love and how do you love yourself, what we're learning to do, what all of us are learning to do, is to understand that every choice we make is either going to be in our favor, neutral, or not in our favor. I didn't know I was going to say that either. Interesting. So what you're being asked to do is stay in touch with what your choices are and whether or not they are serving you and the new story you want, or not the new story you want, the old story. You're being told the reason this is actually good for you is because it's breaking it down into concrete things. It doesn't mean you have to redo everything all at once. It means that you stay present. And in this moment, for example, if food is the issue, if exercise is the issue, that you really give yourself a chance to say, if I were feeling this way and I were remothering myself, or what's a better way to put it for you that would be more feeling based? If I were to look at a child who was experiencing this around food and eating, or this around sleep, or this around exercise, how would I, as a loving adult, take care of it? Would I want to give them sugar? Well, the inclination may be there to give them sugar because that's maybe what you got, for example. But in my wise adult self, is that the best thing to do? My mother in those days didn't know, for example, all of the repercussions, but I do. So now, okay, no sugar today. Let's just take the time to, what? If I tune in to the child needs, what is the child need? Oh, it's something solid. It's something, protein. Okay, protein. How can I do protein? I've only got this much time. How can I do protein now? And this is how you get to restructure your daily life around an elevated self-loving. All right. You're also being asked, please, because sometimes when you're doing this, it's going to sound maybe a little crazy, but this is real. Sometimes we hang on to the old stories as a way of hanging on to loving memories, as a way of hanging on to the people who've gone before. And so we hang on, and in that process, what we also tend to hang on to is the story associated with them and how that plays out in our life. What you're being asked to do is be willing to let go of that old story. Be willing to let go of that old way of being loved, because the memory will never go. The love that was behind it will never go. It's the reality that you are liberating yourself from having to play out the behaviors that were associated with loving and self-care. That's all you're losing. You're not losing the tenderness, the gentleness, the affection, all of the good stuff associated. You're not losing the memory of that person. You are no less detached from that person. If you want to still be attached to the memory of them, you're not losing them. Okay? They have no desire to have you be compromising yourself in order to maintain some kind of mental, energetic connection to them. You can continue to have a connection, but at a higher level. Okay? I'm going to leave you with that, Cancer. Oh no, there's one more card here I need to offer you. And it says, before you walk into a room, begin a conversation, or even just go out into the world, do this. Imagine that you are full of all of these wonderful qualities that are just bubbling up out of you like bubbles out of a soft drink. Just, you know how they radiate around the glass, ever so gently and delicately. To please remember, Cancers, because sometimes as you do let go of things, you can feel a sense of loss, and you can feel a sense of almost disconnection from knowing yourself to be who you are. So you're being reminded here, whenever the sadness comes in, or if you feel a sort of quality of not knowing who you are anymore as you let go of those behaviors, just remember there is far more to you than this, than those old behaviors. There is far more that is bubbling up out of you as you start this experiment of self-appreciation. And that's what I'm getting here. It's like it's an experiment of self-appreciation to understand how you now can be your own mother, how you can now be as loving to you as you have been to other people. And this is a great thing, Cancer, because your loving of other people is monumental. And when you apply it to yourself, holy moly, does your life change. I leave you with that, Cancers. Take care.